Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. I do hope that you're well. Today is the 24th of October, and I'm going to be talking about the energies of the eclipses that are coming up. Tomorrow, on the 25th of October, we have we have a new moon in Scorpio and a partial solar eclipse. And then if we roll forward to the 8th of November, we have a total lunar eclipse and a full moon in Taurus. The dates might be a little bit out by a day, dependent upon where you are in the world, but we are entering eclipse season. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the energy of that, what I am picking up so far, because I'm sure there will be more to come, but I did want to just say something and be there for you as a community during what feel very powerful days. You'll note that I'm not in my usual location. I'm actually staying away from home for a couple of days in a beautiful Georgian cottage in a beautiful part of England, and enjoying it very much. The symbolism, though, of being here at this time is not lost on me, because if we think about new moon in Scorpio and the energy of Scorpio very much being about light and dark, transformation, rebirth, many of the things that we talk about a lot on this channel, I find myself in this little cottage in a very rural village. And unlike where I normally live, and probably where many of you live, which is in a town, in a city, which has a lot of light pollution, i.e. street lights, just the lighting from other houses that are around you. Right here, when it goes dark and dusk, it goes completely black. You can't see anything. There is no light other than the moon in the sky and the stars. And yes, very beautiful, but actually really brings up a lot of fear, and I'm going to own that. The first night that I stayed here, I switched off the lights to go to sleep, and it was, as I say, pitch black, couldn't see anything. And it brought back memories of being a little girl. You might have been the same, a little girl or a little boy, putting the duvet over your head because there was a feeling of being frightened of the dark to a degree. How perfect is that for this new moon in Scorpio? Because we're being asked to face that darkness, to face our own shadow within ourselves, to face our own fears and face our own anxiety. But to do so in a very compassionate way, in a very gentle way, that you would if you were nourishing a child, because ultimately you need to be nourishing your own inner child at this time. So that first night, I didn't sleep very well. I have to confess, I kept putting the lights on. Also because I am very sensitive to energies and I pick up energies, I was half expecting to see something in the room, some sort of ghost or premonition or something. And I wasn't really in the space to want to see that. I didn't actually, and actually the energy in this place is beautiful, really, really lovely. But I'm just sharing and being vulnerable because I think that's what we need to do during Scorpio season, because you can't rebirth properly and let go of your fears unless you're willing to acknowledge that they're actually there, okay? So yes, second night that I spent, which was last night, I actually did keep a little light on in the bathroom, so it wasn't completely pitch black. And that made me feel safe. So what do you need to do to help yourself feel safe as you navigate through the dark? Some of you might also be going through a dark night of the soul. You might be newly awakening on your spiritual path, or you might have been on your spiritual path for quite a long time. But for whatever reason, there is another layer of the onion skin coming off, another layer of awakening that leaves you feeling quite raw and quite vulnerable when that outer skin has been taken off. So be gentle with yourself, be very compassionate with yourself at this time. Because ultimately all transformation is about change, and change is often difficult. And I think at this time between eclipses, when we are being invited to birth a new version of ourselves going forward into 2023, we have to acknowledge that it can be a difficult, challenging place to be as well. There's a couple of beautiful poems here. You know, I like my poetry. These are all from this diary from this year, the Wee Moon Diary. I've mentioned it quite a few times through the year. And yeah, I'll probably get myself another one for next year, because it's a good way just to track through the astrological calendar. But equally, I love the poetry and I like the artwork that's within it. There's one small poem I'd like to read out here for us today by a lady called Tamara Phillips. She wrote it in 2017. And the poem is simply called Eclipsed. And it's called Dark is the Shadow. Oh, no, I think the artwork is eclipsed. Dark is the Shadow is the name of the poem. It says, when the moon eclipses the sun, be there for it. Seek it. Go wherever it takes you. Hurry. Pay whatever is required to go into the dark, to see the light only visible from the shadow. Accept and claim its alien gifts, rushing in for you only now, only now. Upheaval is another word for change. I think that's really, really perfect. But equally, yeah, go into the darkness, go into what you fear the most, go into what challenges you, go into face your addictions, go into face, you know, whatever it is that is blocking your pathway to be the best version of yourself that you can be in this lifetime. But go gently. And it's interesting also because after that first night I had here, where I was a bit scared, to be honest, of the complete and utter blackout, because I'm not used to it. It's purely all it is. It's because I'm not used to it. I'm used to having lights outside my window from the street. So it's something to adjust to. It's something to change into, but you do so gradually. You don't have to go cold turkey. I said to my daughter, who was in the next room, I said, well, you know, how did you sleep last night? And she said the same. She said, I had to keep putting the light on. And she said, there was also a little chink of light coming in from somewhere, just a tiny spot on the ceiling. And she said, I kept focusing on that. Think of the symbolism of that. Because when you are within the dark, and we're talking here, not just about the night sky, we're talking about what frightens you, what you feel is going to devour you, what you feel is coming for you, you know, things that go bump in the night, all of that. Focus on the light, because the light will keep you balanced. I was, yeah, okay, so that's what I want to say. I was about to deviate, but I'm going to stay focused because I'm recording this on my phone, so I can't make any mistakes. Right, let's see what else I want to say. I think I'll just pull some cards at this point. I'm feeling very much the energies of the goddesses. So I've brought with me my Kali Ma spray. And we've called this Warrior Goddess Energy, Liberation and Rebirth. Liberation and Rebirth. So let's spray Kali and invite her energy in. And she shows me straight away the swords that she carries. And she carries the swords to basically fight her way through the jungle. What is the jungle? The jungle basically is life, with things that are presented to us that we might perceive as being dangerous, but maybe aren't. But also there might be some actual dangers that are there, that we also need our swords, metaphorically, of course, to cut through the darkness, to slay what needs slaying. But this is also the demons in our own mind, the monsters in our own mind. Because really, and I knew this even when it was happening, you know, when you're, for example, lying in bed, it's pitch black, you just go into a moment of like, I'm not sure I really like this. Am I about to, you know, as I say, see something or whatever? And I'm a medium, so I'm sort of used to this type of stuff. But if you're in that space, it's your mind that's conjuring up the monsters in the midst. There don't necessarily have to be any monsters in the midst. Our mind is very capable of creating, well, it does create our reality with our heart as well. So make sure that you're conjuring up the magic, you're conjuring up the beauty, you're conjuring up the miracle, you're conjuring up the healing from that place of darkness, from the void, which is actually the place of creation. And maybe that's why we fear it so. That's what I feel Carly's saying. That's why we fear it so, because we actually fear our own ability to be the majestic manifester and the majestic creator that we are. You know, I'm being given the example of, you know, a cupboard full of potions and lotions and powders and alchemy, all of that. And it's like, well, what happens if you take a bit of that and you take a bit of that and you take a bit of this and you mix it and you create something amazing? But of course, those ingredients are qualities. The ingredients are things such as bravery, strength, love, compassion. What happens if you mix all of that together? What happens if you bring forth what you really are here to do? Do you know, I nearly went on a bit of a rant this morning, but I didn't. I managed to stop myself. You'll be surprised to hear. Now, let's get serious, because this actually is quite a serious thing, I think. I was on Facebook, good old Facebook, and I just happened to see an advert that was on Facebook. Not something I'd requested to see, but it came up. I won't name the company, but basically it was a company that it looks like it's aimed at people like me who are content creators. And you go to this company and effectively they sort of write your posts for you. They basically tell you the type of things you need to be writing. They give you paragraphs that you can use, pictures you can use. Effectively, they're sort of doing it for you. It's like a cheat sheet. And there was parts of me, and I feel this was the Carly energy, that was really quite enraged by it. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm all for empowerment. I'm all for wanting to find what actually exists within me that I can create, that is completely individual and has my own unique twist on it to deliver to you. And in the same way, if I'm going to listen to you, or I'm going to watch something that you've created, or read something that you've written, or look at a beautiful piece of artwork that maybe you've made, or a piece of music, I want to hear you in it. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your flavour. I want to taste that. I don't want a homogenized, bland, computer-generated version of what that consciousness thinks we need to be served up as a dinner today to eat, to read, to see, to taste, all the rest of it. And that's the way our world's going. Unless we're careful, unless we actually have the courage of our convictions to dive into our own recipe book, which exists here within our own hearts and within our akashic field, to bring forth that which we were meant to bring forth in this particular incarnation. So it's really a time to not give in to the fears and the shadows and also the deceptive energy out there. I'm not talking about this particular company now, but I do think there's a deceptive energy out there, which is like, we'll make it easy for you. It's the snake. It's like, we'll make it easy for you. You don't have to do that. We know that you're busy. We know you have... It panders to a part of ourself which is shadow, which is sort of like, oh, okay, well, yeah, actually, no, I can't really do it. So you do it for me, will you? You do it for me. And it's like the Godhead source, the goddess energy says, no, you are the primal creator. You're the primal creator. Bring forth that which is uniquely you. It's uniquely me. Nobody else can be me. Nobody else can be you. Just be you. Okay. Whew, now I'm going very hot having said all of that. That's the Carly energy coming through. Okay, so let's just spray once again. Let me have some water. And that's actually quite powerful what I've just said. I really feel the energy of that. Oh, let's do some cards, guys, to ground. Okay. The decks that I'm reading from today, we have Wisdom of the Oracle. Metatron's saying put the cards down, because he's saying just be with this energy that you've just created, because other people are feeling what you're feeling right now listening to you. This is the energy of being put on the spot. Okay, being put on the spot. And when we are put on the spot and we're asked to perform or to do what we actually came here to do, we go into fight or flight, okay? And it's like anything but that, Because if I do that, then I'm exposed. What if I can't do it, okay? What if I stand on the stage and I can't sing the note? What if I am invited into the conference to present a paper and I have nothing to say, okay? Etc., etc., etc. We all have these human frailties. We all have these human fears, is what Metatron is saying. And what you have to do is to sink into the energy of gentleness and compassion for self, which basically says it's okay, you can do it. And that's also the maternal energy. That's what the mother does. That's what a father does, who encourages the child. But you're being invited to encourage your own inner child out to play in this crazy old world where everything's falling down, where all of the structures are in flux, where we don't necessarily know exactly what's going on, who's leading the show, all of that. You're still being asked to do it. You're being asked to create it, Metatron is saying, within the vortex. Within the vortex. And it's within that powerful vortex that stuff beyond your wildest dreams is created. But only when you are vulnerable and able to sink into, what if I can't? Face it. What if you can't? What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? I'm not answering that for you. I'd like you to answer it for yourself. Because ultimately, if you're on a spirit-led path and you're coming from your heart, you won't be allowed to fail. It might not work out in exactly the way you thought it was going to. It might look a bit different from how you thought it would look, but you will still make the impact you're meant to make. I'm picking up somebody watching me who either makes clothes or has a clothing brand, and I'm being told to tell you to go for it. I mean, come on. And also, as I'm saying that, I'm away from home. The only mugs that they have in this house have either got Prince or King on them, I think. In fact, there's no Queen. I was like, where are the Queen? Where's the Queen mug? I'm talking here archetypal Queen, not the Queen of England, okay? But Prince. Look at my top. Prince. I'm realising there's a bit of Prince coming through with what I'm saying here as well. Because again, think about somebody like Prince. Completely and utterly unique. He didn't come out and think, well, I'll just try and be a bit like this guy. You know, if I just play by that rule book and I try and sound like him, I'll probably get away with it and I'll get a couple of number ones and people might remember me. No, absolutely not. We've also got the Bob Marley energy here. No, this is not yet for sale. I mentioned this in my last video. But Bob Marley, I'm going to be bringing, of all the Heart Squad, I am going to be bringing Bob Marley and probably Prince through next. Bob Marley absolutely wants to speak about freedom. Of course he does. And Prince has got something to say about other stuff. So we'll save that for another time when I'm back home. But again, two unique men. Bob Marley broke the mould, okay? Broke the mould. Also was somebody who was able to build bridges to different communities, okay? Different genres. People who never particularly thought that they would maybe like reggae or anything like that, suddenly like, wow, what the hell is that? I love it, okay? But he was able to do it because he just had that presence. He had that presence of being, I am Bob Marley. I am Prince. But you've got to own that for yourself, that I am who I am. And it comes from this very deep, reflective, dark night of the soul type energy that this new moon in Scorpio and the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse that's coming brings to the surface. And I rather love the fact, let me just double check, that on the total lunar eclipse, yeah, we've got a full moon in Taurus. So then we cement it all in. So this is such a powerful creative time. And again, think about the greats that are out there. If we take the example of musicians, for example, or writers, authors, playwrights, they don't tend to have writer's block when things are chaotic. What I mean by that is that they take inspiration from the chaotic times. That's the stuff that they take out of the cupboard, the powders, the potions, the lotions, that note, that word, and they stir it all together and they create something amazing from chaos, from maybe times of complete and utter heartbreak, complete and utter devastation, having maybe lost it all. And then that's the inspiration to come back and rebuild, but rebuild something that other people benefit from such a huge degree. We all wait for the perfect time to do something. And I'm as guilty of that as the next man, okay, or woman. At the moment, it's interesting, I'm just share with you, I'm really fighting against it's like a perfectionist energy, which I know I've got, a lot of us have, which is at the moment, I just can't get my space right in my house. And I love my house, and I'm very blessed to have the room that I'm in. And it's like, yeah, but I don't feel I can work there at the moment. It's just not coming through in the way that I want it to come through. And I'm blaming the room, but it's not really the room, it's me. It's something within me. It's like, sit in that chaos, sit in that noise, sit in that energy, which is like, it's not quite right. Okay, it's not quite right. So bring something from that. What's that all about? We wait for the perfect situation. We wait for the perfect relationship, the perfect moment. What if it never comes? Then what are you going to do? Okay, so create, create, create. Okay, Metron's saying now you can pull some cards. Okay. I've only bought 2 decks away with me. I've bought Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. And let's go for that first. And I've got the Wild Unknown Tarot. So 3 cards, please, for the people watching, for New Moon in Scorpio, partial solar eclipse energies. What is coming up at this time? What needs to be said? Truth be told, the Wise Owl, card number 14. On the bottom of the deck, we have a change in the wind. Truths coming to light. But again, people straight away, sometimes when they hear things like that, can flip to the collective. Oh yes, there's things going to be coming to light in the collective. Yes, maybe there will. What about your truths coming to light? What about a change? And look at this on the bottom of the deck. We've got the card, which is why. What about if there is a change in the wind? It's eclipse season. That's exactly what is coming in. And it may very well be that in your part of the world, the weather is also emphasizing that. Here in the UK yesterday, there was a lot of rain. I mean, not unusual. We have a lot of rain in this country, but torrential rain, a lot of wind, just a lot of weather. I also saw rainbows. There's now beautiful sunshine out of the window. I saw a picture, it was a piece of film somebody had filmed of London. And they were it was the view of the skyline in London with the London Eye and the Shard, that beautiful Shard building. And, you know, they were just filming it. And then you could see this rainstorm come in and literally all of the buildings just vanished because all you could see was the rain. And then it cleared and the buildings were still there, but they'd had a bit of a cleanse. They'd had a bit of a spruce up. That's what's happening to us. A change in the wind. Okay, truth be told, on this deck, there is an open window. That is Spirit saying, this is the time for you to bring forth that which is yours. And I'm being told to go and open the window. Let's just do that and symbolically think about what we're doing. Hold on. Let the fresh air in, let the new you in, let your truth be told. What do you have to say? what is true to you, and start to ask why. This is also the card which is, let me just check the book actually. I haven't used this deck for a while. I just remember there was another meaning with this card. Card 31. Okay, yes, good job. It's to do with the motives that are driving your intention. So you're being asked to think about the motives behind why you wish to do something. Why do you wish to create something? Why do you wish to bring something through? So it's a great power in understanding your motives right now. The Oracle asks you to be very clear about why you're asking this question, looking for this answer, behaving in this way, and most important, making this choice. Knowing your why is the key to fulfillment. When you are clear about it, your intention will then be a magnet for miracles. Motives, this is really important. Motives define the nature of your experience. And when you think about something, feel it and then act on it. This invisible why is the life force energy within the seed which brings it to life and holds the potential for growth. And I think, going back to my little rant earlier about this service, which was just like, yes, let me write your posts for you. Let me tell you what you should be telling your followers. Let me tell you, who you are, basically, what it is that you offer. How can anybody else tell me or tell you what it is that I have to offer or what you have to offer? It's got to come from you. And ultimately, why I'm so passionate about it is because it has to come from your heart. It has to come from your soul. It doesn't come from some computer script that this is the way we do things. Aren't we moving away from that energy? That's not how New Earth is built. And I'm being shown, two quite contrasting images here. And maybe this is what humanity right now has to ask itself as well, in terms of, well, why are we wanting to evolve, and what are we wishing to evolve into? There's one scenario, which is the scenario that I have always positively hooked my energy into, which is the New Eden energy. Okay, the New Eden. It's returning back into Eden, but this time, everything is equal, everything is balanced. We are there because we've been invited there, and we're staying, and we're not cast out as miserable sinners or any of that. It's the New Eden, it's the New Earth, and it's heart-centered, and it's about unity, and it's about togetherness, and it's about co-creation. And the other energy at play at the moment is a very computerized, mechanical, generated world, where everything looks the same and everything starts to sound the same and everything starts to become rather bland. I don't want that, do you? But again, you've got to get into your passion, and you've also got to speak up if that's not what you want. The more that you give in to the other side, the more that it will grow. Because I can completely see, this post that I'm referring to, there were so many people saying, oh my gosh, thank goodness, this is absolutely what I've been looking for. I have no time to write posts. This is exactly what I need. And I thought, yes, that's how they get you. I'm busy. You're busy. Find the time to bring through your unique creativity. Okay. I think I've made that point. Interestingly, that I pulled the 3 cards. I put the pack down, but there's another 2 sitting there that I hadn't noticed were sitting there. Okay, well, these have just landed, and I will say what they are. Maybe I've already said it. Message in a bottle communication and the tribe. Communicate what you have to say to your tribe, in the same way that I'm now talking to you. And you might be my tribe, you might not. You might resonate with me, you might not. If you don't like the message, no problem, move on. But lots of people will like your message. Find your tribe. Find your tribe and communicate with them at this time. Right, there's another message coming in here. This is also about communication from your guides, because your tribe is not just on Earth. Your tribe is celestial in nature. Your tribe is galactic in nature. Thinking about you know, 2 nights ago when I'm lying in that bed and it's like pitch black and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to open my eyes, because if I open my eyes, I know I'm going to see something. Yeah, because it's there. Because that's the next thing. Whether it is the galactic visitor, whether it is another guide that I've never particularly resonated with before that now wants to come through with a message, resisting it because no, I'm safe, I'm comfortable, I'm right as I am, thank you very much. No, I'm just going to keep jogging on in this line. No, that's not how it works, because creation never stops creating. You as the creator never stop. You can't stop. You can't stop, my friends. And again, if you're somebody that has an energy of like, no, but I'm wanting to try and control this, guess what? You can't. You can't stop the ride. You can't get off the ride. Once you're on your awakening path, you're on your awakening path. And when your higher self says, I'm ready for the next step, and your guides know that you're ready for the next step, it's going to come in. Message in a bottle, it's going to come in. So be on the lookout for your guides stepping up maybe, but also new guides coming in. But also make sure that the line is clean. The line is clean. If you look at this spray, okay, I want you to particularly look at the picture on the spray. Those of you that have got my Metatron Oracle deck, you know that this card is in the deck. It's linked to the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life, of course, you know, a template, a blueprint, effectively. We come down, we incarnate from spirit, we come down to earth. We come down from Kether to Malkuth, and we work our way down through the different spheres, the different Seratoph. And there are all these pathways. There are all these different pathways. There are all these different experiences that we can have upon the tree. And then, of course, we work our way back up the tree and we go back to spirit. Metatron is at the top of the Tree of Life. Sandalphon is at the bottom of the Tree of Life. Right now, you are somewhere on this tree, and your higher self and spirit are trying to nudge you. You might be there, they're trying to nudge you there. Or you might be there, they're trying to nudge you there. I don't know, it's unique to you. And of course, those of you that study the Tree of Life know that all of these different places have different meanings, different qualities. It's different destination points, different parts of the tree where you're meant to experience something, reflect on something, heal something, integrate something, etc. But we're resisting the tree being shook, and the tree is being shaken. The tree is being shaken. Don't resist it. Let's spray the Tree of Life spray and see what else we can get here. It has a scent of hyacinth. I'm pretty sure I'm right in that. Love it. It's so clarifying. I'm hearing the word clarifying. I'm being shown the energy of packing up our bags, packing up our things, of where we've been, okay, whichever spot we've been on the Tree of Life, and we're about to move to the next destination, and the pathways have been cleaned for us. They're clear. It's only ourselves that's blocking it. But I don't want to open my eyes. I don't want to open my ears. I don't want to see. Yes. But gently, 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 okay? Remember, this isn't a one-date phenomenon. This is something that's now happening between the 25th of October, this is the period I'm reading on, till the 8th of November, which is the total lunar eclipse. But I want to extend it, obviously I do, to 11/11, okay? 11/11, always we do something on 11/11 linked into Metatron. So powerful, powerful time, okay? Because otherwise you're just into the never-ending story. You're just into repeating the same old patterns. If you refuse to move and you're just stuck in one particular place, one particular location, one particular mindset, one particular relationship with self, okay, one particular identity, that's all you're ever going to be. I noticed yesterday on YouTube, it's not somebody I follow very much, but I'd noticed her over the years. There's a very popular, I don't know how she'd call herself now. She used to be called Stargirl the Practical Witch. Many of you might follow her. I think she maybe has a slightly younger tribe, I don't know, but anyway, Stargirl the Practical Witch, she's got a lot of people follow her, and she's just reinvented herself. She's called herself something new. I can't remember what it is now. Anita something, Nita Siren or something. And she looks different, she's dressed differently, and she's like, this is who I am now. This is who I am now. This is how I look. It's fine if you don't wish to follow me anymore, although I probably will be doing similar content, but it's just I have to note that this is the new me and this isn't a new name and all of that. And that's a perfect example of somebody who's moved from one place on the tree to another place. And they're not worried about people who don't necessarily want to come with them on their new journey, because they know they'll find new people. And actually, I think this whole thing about my room and not feeling happy in my room at the moment at home, I think it's a lot of it is to do with that. It doesn't mean that I have to move house, but I'm actually feeling I just want to take everything off the walls. I want to paint it very neutral. I want it different because I feel different. I'm sure I'll have to negotiate Metatron in terms of not having his image up there. And I'm not saying I wouldn't, but you get what I'm trying to say. Reinvention is here and we must not resist it. Otherwise, it's just the never-ending story. And look at that card that comes out. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look what happens. You see, because if we stay in the never-ending story, which is not for you, it leads to chaos and conflict. It's just chaos and conflict. Because it's not ultimately what your soul wishes for you. It's not what your higher self wishes for you. It's not what source wishes for you. You're a child of this universe. You're meant to go and explore. And that applies to beliefs as well. I said in a recent video about the whole Doreen Virtue situation. But, you know, it's not really about her. It's about people like her. The whole fundamentalist thing, which is you will not move from that spot on the tree. You will only read that one book. You will only believe that one thing. Do not dare to step out of that. Don't dare. Don't you dare. It's old paradigm thinking. Whereas the Jesus I know is like, you're a child of the universe. You can go and explore anything you damn well want. If you want to go and look at Buddhism, look at Buddhism. If you want to go and look at Hinduism, look at Hinduism. It's all the one God. With respect, to me, it's all the one God. It's different ways to worship the one God. Or God is not even the right word. Let's call it source. Okay, right. Couple of tarot cards to finish. And then I better get on with my day. We have the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck before I've even shuffled the cards. Let's just have that out because I think that's a rather lovely depiction of the High Priestess as the tiger. The tiger. With the world at her feet, because she knows what she knows and she's strong in her convictions, and it's the divine feminine. And in this particular deck, the Wild Unknown, it's like it doesn't feel like there's any of that association in, you know, traditional tarot so much with the darker side of the High Priestess, you know, manipulation and deviance and all of that. In terms of everything's secret, it's only for me. She feels very inclusive, this High Priestess. Very inclusive. The tiger energy. And again, the strength of being unique. Do you think a tiger tries to be anything other than a tiger? Do you think any of the animals try and be what they're not? Do you think the giraffe tries to not be the giraffe and pretends to be the mouse? You know, the giraffe is actually on the card of the tribe as well. They're unique animals. The ones that are here in this reading, they're all unique. The zebra, the giraffe, the tiger, totally unique, just like you. But you trap yourself into thinking you're just one. You're not, you know, you're unique. Okay, right. Let's just a couple more cards and then I better get on. Right. High Priestess. Anything else that needs to come through in this reading, please, Metatron? So this is eclipse season. What is coming up that maybe I haven't said or need to reframe? New moon in Scorpio. the Emperor. And the Father of Swords, very strong masculine energy. And the Hierophant. I mean, yes, I could read on this collectively, but I want to read on it in terms of individually for you as individuals, okay? I spend a lot of time talking about collective energies, and I'll come back and talk about that another day. But right now, you are your own teacher, the Hierophant. You are your own teacher. This is strong masculine energy coming through with this eclipse season. And I guess that makes sense because, yes, we need to nourish ourselves and care for ourselves and all the rest of it, and very feminine qualities. But to take those steps forward and really create the change, you need the strong masculine as well. You need that doing energy. You need that active energy, the more masculine qualities. You also need the protection that these two give you. You know, to be able to create change, you need to feel safe. And if you don't feel safe, it's harder. So again, you can wait for the right moment, and you can wait forever to feel safe, to have the right relationship, to be in the right house, to be in the right country, to be whatever the blocks are that come up with you in terms of I'm not safe because I haven't got the money, I'm not safe because I haven't got the job, I'm not safe because I haven't got this, that, whatever. This is asking you to create your own safety by going into your own divine masculine energy, that you are the one that you've been waiting for, basically. Okay. Yeah, the Two of Wands, but this to me is the masculine and the feminine within yourself. Both are needed. I can just hear a stream or something. I thought it was raining, but I can hear a stream. Look at that Emperor as well. That is basically... That's almost like a card for tomorrow, the 25th. Partial solar eclipse, new moon in Scorpio, the Emperor. The Emperor is about how do you keep yourself feeling safe? How do you keep yourself feeling secure? How do you create order? Okay. What can you do to create order in your life that's going to help you manifest and create who you actually came to be in this lifetime? What is that? And yes, it probably is some of the basics that we shrug and think, oh God, it doesn't really matter. It does matter. It's to do with it's the priorities triangle again. It's Maslow. It's food. It's what you eat. It's how you sleep. It's all of that. Okay. It's the basics. Are you looking after yourself? Okay. I heard 6 cards from this deck. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more card. I mean, I don't really want to go into the whole macro thing, but obviously there is, within these cards, it's also linked into changes within power structures. And I'm recording this on the day that the UK may have its new Prime Minister or not. It depends whether it goes to a vote with the Tory party members, but it's either going to be Rishi Sunak or Penny Mordaunt. I have read on the UK situation. I read on Penny, I read on Rishi, I read on Boris. What's happened to Boris in terms of him is pretty much what I said. I said there were going to be people behind him that would not allow him to probably stand again. I will just say, because I'm talking about it now, I kept hearing Boomerang Boris. His statement last night when he basically withdrew from the race to become the new leader, he basically ended it by saying, it's not my time yet. Those 3 little words, yet. He'll be back probably after the next general election, which Labour will probably win, and he will probably be the one who helps to reform the Conservative Party. That's what I'm picking up anyway, but he's certainly not over and out. But there's going to be somebody new at the top in the UK. I mean, these are very masculine cards, but God, we're in Scorpio season, anything could happen. It could be Penny as well. I'm not going to read on that now, but I just wanted a nod to the fact these are also to do with change of power. But aside from the macro level, the micro level is there is a change of power within yourself, and you are the one that is able to flick the switch or not. Okay, you're the one that's able to flick the switch or not. I have got the Fool on the bottom of the deck, but let's just reshuffle and see if there's anything else that wants to come through. The Fool, obviously the new beginning, the new cycle. Let's just see, one more card. Death. I mean, I'm laughing because, yeah, why are we so scared of it? I was actually saying to somebody today, I will share this. Maybe some of us know people like this in our own lives. Maybe you are the person I'm about to say this to. I hope you're not, but maybe you are. Not that you're about to die, but I think that some people's addictions and shadow behaviour is getting so out of hand right now and out of control and out of balance because they can't accept their own mortality. And I think those people that have no faith in anything, including themselves, it must be really, really difficult right now. Really difficult. But ultimately, to be able to face our death, to be able to face our own mortality, that I am going to die, that you are going to die, that everybody you know is going to die at some point, and to come to an acceptance with that and to not fear it, but rather to think, okay, I might only have 10 years left, I might have 20 years left, I might have 1 year left. Nobody actually knows. So I'm going to live the best life that I possibly can. And equally, when somebody dies around us that we love, it should be the spur that makes us think, okay, they're gone, but I'm now going to do the best that I can for them out of love, to honour who they've been. Because the choice is that is the choice, or to just vegetate and to sit in the chair and to do nothing. And you came here to do more than that, okay? To do more than that. To transform, to grow strong, to be a creator, to live your life. And yeah, it's very challenging right now. But remember, the tree doesn't shake. And also, it's multidimensional, okay? Yes, you come down and you experience life. But when you die, you go back up the tree and you get reborn. You get rebirthed. You can come back if you want to. It doesn't have to be straight away. You can come back in 100 years if you want to, 200 years. Did anybody see Doctor Who last night? I must admit I didn't, but I saw it made the news in the UK last night because Doctor Who regenerated yesterday. And Jodie, whatever she's called, sorry, Jodie Whittaker, is it? I can't check because I haven't got my computer. There was this extraordinary scene where she regenerated and she was standing on top of this mountain or something, and there was all this bright orange and red and there's electricity coming off her, and she's like, wow, like this. And she just transforms, and then she becomes David Tennant again, who was a brilliant doctor. But he's only there as like a transition, I think, because there's a new doctor coming next year. And I think it will be the first black Doctor Who, which is brilliant. So that's also worth noting. Actually, if Rishi Sunak becomes our Prime Minister, he will be the first Indian Prime Minister. I think he's Indian blood. Obviously British, but you know, it's so there's this whole thing about we come back, and it's to do with when we come back and we rebirth. I've said all this, we come back, we look different, we have different skin colours, we have different nationalities, we have different belief systems. You might come back as a raging fundamentalist. And in fact, sometimes the thing that you most despise and you most have a block to, and it's like, I hate you, you know, and it's like, you might just watch that, because if you can't resolve it in this lifetime, you might be asked to experience what it feels like to be that type of person, okay? That's how we learn, isn't it? How can you learn anything unless you've walked in somebody's shoes, unless you've walked in their skin, unless you've walked in their nationality, unless you've walked in their belief system? And then you might be able to, oh my God, I can feel the fear. I understand now why a fundamentalist might feel like might choose to be a fundamentalist. I hadn't realised there was all this unhealed wounding and blah, 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 etc. So anyway, that's slightly, we're leaping ahead a little bit, but I did think that end scene of Doctor Who last night was breathtakingly beautiful. My gosh. Imagine yourself like that. You're there, you've got all this you've got this power going through you. This is what is coming in for us with these eclipse seasons. What are you going to do with it? You're going to sit and just fry? Or are you going to transform? Transform, my friends, transform. Okay, let's have a final squirt of Tree of Life to root the tree. Remember, you are the tree, of course, as well. Put your roots down into Mother Earth. Put your branches out wide and allow the fruits of your labour to be seen, to be appreciated, to be gathered up as the precious jewels that they actually are. Amen. Much love. Have a good one. I'll be back next week in my room, my normal room, and I will be making peace with it as we make peace with ourselves. Take care, guys. Lots of love. Bye for now. Bye.